Humans, despicable beings with instincts worse than a demon's. Beasts playing at having the blood of God. Humans are greedy and despicable creatures, they can be worse than demons themselves. What would you wish for if you could have one wish come true? To be loaded with money? Or the girl of your dreams? It doesn't matter what you wish for, but you'll have to pay a similar price. That's how the world works, with good things, there's always a bad side. It's not bad to make mistakes, kid. What's really bad is making mistakes and not learning from them. Sinful humans who realized an even larger world existed behind them. They wanted to use me, experiment on me to create a beast far worse than themselves. Power controls everything, and without power you can't protect anything. Not to mention yourself. Finally, after 2,000 years I'm back. Though it's strange. Do I have to face a Sparta again? Strange encounter, don't you think? Strange and ironic that the fate is going to be the same. Are you crying? It's just the rain. The rain has stopped, son. Demons don't cry. I see, but maybe somewhere, a demon can cry when he has lost a loved one, don't you think? Maybe. That may be true, but you won't be the first and the last to call me a son of a bitch. Let me go. I need to do this. I'll kill all those sons of bitches myself. I'll rip their heads off with my sword. Izuku. Don't do that. You don't know me yet. You don't know what I'm willing to do. What do you plan to do? A somewhat uncertain plan. I guess there's a hurdle in my path, and my only duty is to get over it no matter what. I will kill a human. So this is the final battle, Izuku Sparta. You and me. God against man. This won't be a fight. It's a defeat, unfortunately for you, Mundus. We'll see. I'll show you why Dante and Virgil aren't here. And I will show you why they left me their power. It can't be. Sparta's power? It's a cruel and arbitrary world. And yet, chaos is so beautiful. Young Izuku. Please. There's no time to go back. Your past haunts you, and I'm the executioner. The last heir of Sparta Tilda. Speaking, we meet again, shall we? Whisper, did you have to do it? Action, he said while stabbing his sword into his abdomen. Extra 1, hey. Hello. Narrator, and so, Izuku began to follow his enemy's steps, while in his attempt to escape. He falls dead on the ground. With a shot to the head. Thought, what's going on here? All rights to the anime and images used in this fanfic are property of its creator. Izuku, so, commander of the Japanese army, he mentioned while directing his gaze towards the ceiling of the room. Should I show more respect towards you and not talk about what I had to do? Mike, no. I'm just a civilian right now, Mike Angelo. You don't have to worry about that. Izuku, I was already afraid. People usually get blinded when they speak ill of the thing they love the most. Mike, what do you mean? Izuku, the society you swore to protect. I think your judgment is completely flawed in several ways, such as some using your power for personal gain, rather than for the benefit of the group, as they should. Mike, huh? Thought, a kid. Who's not even 9 years old, realizing how poorly society is run. Because of his young inexperience? Izuku, if only he did things right. Mike, thinking, genius. Izuku, no one should have to live like me or simply suffer from the misfortunes caused by the noble family. Mike, thought, he makes you respect him, but also. Izuku, as well as giving too much right to the nobles, causing there to be no retaliation when they do an act not well. Mike, thought, fearsome. How wise is this kid? He could become a danger, a monster. A monster on the rise. Take your damn eyes off my face or I'll rip your filthy eyes out. Mike, you're interesting, very interesting. Izuku, I've been told that before. My grandfather always said so. Mike, I'll offer you an offer. Izuku, I'm willing to listen to her. Mike, I'll turn you into a monster. A monster capable of confronting the corruption you speak of. I'll give you a throne to sit on and a reason to live, to fight. Izuku, such an offer comes from the commander of the Japanese army. Let's get down to business. How will you do it? Mike, unfortunately, at your young age, you can't enter the military training program. But that doesn't prevent me from training you personally. In a year, the government plans to implement a new training regime for children with qualities like yours. They want to make them exceptional soldiers capable of not just winning, but having a formidable victory. Izuku, 1 year. What are they like? Mike, I've formally met them, he said, a smile spreading across his face. They're disgustingly selfish, corrupt, and even arrogant children. But despite that, their parents haven't forgotten their training and have polished their talents. Izuku, one of my favorite things to do is breaking faces, especially if they're arrogant people. Where do I sign? Mike, in life, there are only two kinds of people. Those who fight and those who cry. Those who, when faced with failure, raise their heads and look for the error, and those who say they can't. Show me what kind of person you are, Izuku. A person is not cold because of a lack of feelings, but because of an abundance of disappointments. Izuku thought, my arm is broken and the bone in my leg has cracks. It's an acceptable challenge, he mentioned as he began to extend his arm. I suppose I'll be under your tutelage, master. Mike, excellent. I shouted while smiling. I'm really glad you accepted. Izuku, so? What time will we start? Mike, so you want to start right away? I like your initiative. For now, you'll regain as much strength as possible by eating. At midnight, I'll be waiting for you in the garden outside. He mentioned while pointing toward the garden visible outside the window. Izuku, then I'll be there at midnight. 9 hours later. The hours began to pass as I could feel my body regaining its vigor. Almost fully recovered, despite the fact that my bones were completely crushed. Noticing the sun beginning to set, I began removing my veins to replace them with others, noticing the scars on my body. Scars that marked my time with the nobility, a reminder of everything I had to live through, hidden from society. I ignored the mental pain those scars caused me, as well as the exhaustion, to start dressing in an outfit Mike had left for me. I got out of bed, almost limping, and started walking toward the backyard of his house. Izuku thought, I still have trouble even standing, but the training I had to endure before was even worse. Instinctively, Izuku began to search for him all around to begin training. Instinctively, Izuku began searching the surroundings to begin training. But just then, a huge whistling sound shook the air around him, a whistling sound that only Izuku could hear, causing him to stand on alert. His sense of hearing was 1,000 times faster than his own ability, causing a rubber bullet to hit his face. Izuku, tch. What did he mean by that? Click as he began to remove the rubber bullet from his arm, causing a small trickle of blood to flow. This is your training, Izuku. Amidst all this darkness and obstacles, find me. Izuku thought, does he plan on making me use my quirk? He wants me to go through the activation phase, he thought while taking his battle pose. I forced my jaw to clench, trying to bear the pain, and let out a small growl as an accompaniment. Despite not being able to breathe properly, I dissipated every bit of fear and chilling pain that surrounded me. I felt helpless, as if an animal had its sights set on hunting me. Bang! 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 The black rubber bullets blunted against me as I tried to approach the center of the garden, as if even my own field was afraid. But I kept walking, feeling my heart pumping more and more blood from the strain. Bang! 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 Finally, I reached the center of the yard where I could get a better view through all the darkness, until my eyes adjusted. Hearing the sounds of gunfire, I ducked down, hoping to end this by feeling the burst of bullets splitting through the air. Of course, it didn't work. All my strategies seemed to be failing against this man, as the bullets seemed to be coming from a completely different direction. Just as I was about to find him, Mike changed positions. Instinctively, another failure. Izuku, AGH. He screamed as he felt all the rubber bullets hit his face. Mike, don't think about the pain. Izuku, no, he said while smiling. I must admit this is fun. Suddenly, my head began to throb, a horrifying, intense pain. The entire black space around me, which I couldn't see because of the darkness, suddenly began to take on a faint green tint. It seemed to glow brighter. As the seconds passed, the darkness above me shone brightly. Night vision. Izuku, thinking, this is amazing, he mentioned while a small green ring appeared over his blue eyes. Eagle vision? What is that shit? This is amazing, he said, a small green ring appearing over his blue eyes. Eagle vision? What is that shit? Izuku thought, this makes things easier for now. Who's going to be the hunter now? He said while taking a knife. Where are you? Izuku, there you are. He shouted as he grabbed the knife to throw it towards Mike. Instinctively, I thought I'd win this one, but a knife that protruded from Mike's wrist easily blocked mine, stopping just short of the tree he was standing in. My gaze quickly shifted to where the knife fell, then back to Mike, who was no longer there. I felt Mike's aura pressing down on my back, and I quickly turned around. Mike, you forgot the surprise factor. Izuku, factor what? He mentioned while grabbing Mike by the neck, to put his knife in his eye. Mike, I guess this would be a tie, he replied with his gun on Izuku's neck, but not for now, he said while feigning his foot so that he fell to the ground. First lesson of our training. Don't let your guard down and never stop being alert. One mistake and that means the end of your life, as well as that of your team. Izuku, you could have told me it would be done today. Mike, deduction. When you're going on a mission, you never know what the enemy team will do, and your main plan will always have small changes. Now let's begin. How could you see me? I wanted you to activate your senses and your quirk when we started in close combat. Izuku, looks like the tests were wrong. My quirk gave me night vision. Mike, that's interesting. At least you made it through the activation, so now we'll just train your mind. Izuku, why my mind? Mike, the best training is mental training, no matter how much muscle you have, if your brain only works to receive and deliver blows. Izuku, I understand, it makes sense. Mike, for now, your training plan will last a year. Unfortunately, you only have that amount of time to reach the level of the other geniuses, so your training won't be tailored to your body or what you can handle. We'll push your body to its maximum pressure and stress. We'll divide this into 6 months. In one, we'll focus entirely on your quirk, while in the others, we'll train your muscles, muscle memory, martial arts training, and strategy training. Izuku, can we start from now? Mike, wouldn't that be too much of a strain on your arm and leg? Izuku, I can handle it. I've endured worse. Mike, so I want you to do 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 3 minutes of planks, 60 diamond push-ups, 10 minutes of cycling, and you'll do a steady jog for 2 kilometers. If you can't do it in 30 minutes, we'll increase it by 10. Izuku, good, he said as he started walking towards the garden. Mike, thought, I created this training plan to make him complain, but he didn't even. Can he handle it? This kid is amazing. Mike's POV. To say I wasn't surprised would be a lie. I had a feeling it might end this way, but not so soon. Izuku had finished training in 30 minutes at most. What a mysterious boy. Although he was a child who looked no older than 9, he displayed an unusual amount of talent from the start. He had mastered the basics of our combat and the training we had during the day. His sleep pattern was still a bit rough, but it steadily improved as the days passed, allowing us to improve our training both day and night. While during the day we trained in the basics of fighting, such as physical training, at night we practiced his senses to awaken his instincts, something he managed to achieve in just a few days. In the span of just a few weeks within the training plan, Izuku had managed to match a soldier. He, who hadn't even learned about the art of war or the intense training of the military, was absorbing the knowledge like a hungry beast, eager to make it his own. A monster on the rise. Finally, months had passed, and his once scarred body, covered in disgusting scars I didn't even have the heart to ask about, was now fully defined. His body was faster and sharper, as if he were instinctively eliminating unnecessary movements. His level of improvement was completely superior to the geniuses I'd once trained myself or surpassed. How was that possible? What kind of past had he experienced? In my years as a soldier and mentor, I'd never encountered a child like this. I'd never even encountered a feeling like this. I'd trained hundreds of experts in the art of war and combat, from young men to privates. I'd nurtured young men with the experience of a corporal, turning them into outstanding figures within the army, but even then, I'd never trained a boy like this. It was a feeling I'd never felt before. Immediately, 6 months had passed. While I was teaching him, I went through quite a few emotions, amazement and pride as well as affection being the ones that sprang up over me the most. Watching Izuku grow into an unprecedented beast was like having unearthed a boring, but obviously precious gem. Izuku was boring and I waited, but with 6 months of training, he now shone. I didn't know what the point of his culmination would be or how much he could shine. I trained him in different hand-to-hand combat arts, took his quirk to the maximum and fully taught him the art of war such as handling bladed weapons, short weapons and long-range weapons. But not only that, he had also taught him different combat arts from which I had learned: Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing, Krav Maga, Kung Fu, Capoeira, Samba, fencing, and Aikido. As time passed, I began to realize Izuku's true abilities and his insatiable hunger to learn more and more. Not only was he an unprecedented genius, the likes of which are not seen even in 1,000 years. He also had that improvement in his muscle memory and photographic reflexes. He could react and copy any attack in seconds. Only in this way did he manage to learn all the martial arts and weapons handling. To achieve a body that, within the martial arts, is considered perfect. If only Izuku were my son, he'd be a prominent member of the military, and not only that, but also of the government itself. He'd even stand out among the most prominent members of the Grand Board. That made an idea cross my mind, but it wouldn't be finalized until the end of the year, of which there was only 1 day left. Izuku, I didn't think your training would be so painful. Even when I get used to it, it ends up increasing several times more, he said while lying down on the ground. Mike, well, that's because your muscles get used to it so quickly. Your muscle memory and photographic reflexes make you react and copy things in a way that's simply monstrous. Izuku, what level am I? Mike, you want to know that? Izuku, that's right. Mike, within the ranking, with only your hand-to-hand combat skills, you are able to enter rank 30. Using your maximum physical and mental capacity along with your quirk, you would enter rank 15. Izuku, you've never told me, but what rank are you? Mike, that's something you'll discover over time. Izuku, do you even know who rank 1 is? I never knew who Toshinori wanted to surpass. Mike, that's a surprise. For now, we have one more thing to do. He said as he started walking towards his house with Izuku. Do you know what day it is today? Izuku, the last day of our training? Mike, no. When we started our training you didn't tell me that that very day was your birthday. Izuku, oh. I didn't remember. Mike, that's why I want to congratulate you on 2 things exactly, Izuku. On your birthday and the beginning of a new life, like the end of your training. Izuku, thanks, I guess. Mike, I also have one more thing for you, he said while showing a huge cake. Hear this. Your gift, he mentioned while handing her an envelope. Izuku, what is this? Mike, a new life. Not as Izuku Midoriya Yagi, he said as he watched him begin to open a new life as Izuku Angelo, my son. Izuku, what does this mean? Mike, adoption papers, Izuku. Do you want to be my son? Izuku. Mike, while we were training, I thought about it. I suddenly started to grow attached to you, and when I finally realized it, we were both alone. We both kept each other company, and just as I was afraid you'd leave, you were afraid our training would end. So, do you want to be an angel? Izuku, You're an idiot, you know that? He said as he started laughing. Mike, probably. Izuku, but you are an idiot, father, he said as he began to walk towards him, to hug him while he cried, my father. Mike, welcome, Angelo. Izuku. Dad. Save me. Please. Izuku Angelo. Status? Rank, 76. Quirk, adaptive vision. One of the variants of his quirk, adaptive vision as its name suggests, gives him the primary ability to make his vision get used to any situation he finds himself in to automatically help him, being a variant of his main quirk eagle vision. Speaking, we meet again, shall we? Whisper, did you have to do it? Action, he said while stabbing his sword into his abdomen. Extra 1, hey. Hello. Narrator, and so, Izuku began to follow his enemy's steps, while in his attempt to escape. He falls dead on the ground. With a shot to the head. Thought, what's going on here? Mike, all right. One more time. He shouted as he began to block all of Izuku's attacks. This won't stop me, son. You know how it is. Instinct is what drives us. Kill or be killed. Izuku, damn. My face was stunned, my focus on the punches, the movement of Mike's muscles, was fading. My concentration was fading. Eliminate useless moves. Do the bare minimum to dodge and don't just think about the next attack. Plan and dodge ahead of time. Not just 1 or 2 attacks. Think about 10 consecutive attacks. Mike, that's better, son, he shouted with a smile on his face as he watched Izuku simply move his torso to use the same power to dodge an attack. Breathe in, breathe out. Refresh the air in your lungs and hold it as long as you can. Increase blood circulation in your body and keep your body solid. As still as a mountain. Mike, ha ha ha, he laughed as a drop of blood began to fall from his nose. We're doing well. Very well. Izuku, it's still not enough. He shouted while stamping his foot so that he fell. I'll defeat you. Mike, defeat me? Son. You're aiming too high. You aspire to too much. Human instinct. Human instinct is a rational behavior that plays a significant role in, well, survival itself. It has a stereotyped, non-reflective nature and is driven by its own stimuli. One of them? The survival instinct. Mike, you can see it, can't you? Photographic reflections, but you can't escape. Fear. Caution, survival. Caution, survival. Preservation of life and health. Lyrical instinct of natural survival. Escape. Fa Jin. 1-inch punch. Izuku, AGH. He screamed in pain as he felt himself fall to the ground. Mike, are you okay? Izuku, I just needed to hold on for one more minute. Mike, hey, it's hard fighting a martial artist, son, he mentioned while helping him up, but you've held up well. No one has managed to last more than 5 minutes fighting me. Izuku, I've only managed to increase that time by 2 minutes. Mike, you're still a kid, he said as he began to wipe Izuku's sweat away. You've got the theoretical and physical skills, but your body lacks the experience of a veteran. You still have a lot of knowledge to absorb, and you'll do it now. Izuku, has it arrived yet? Mike, that's right. This concludes our last session before my vacation ends, he said as he and Izuku started walking toward the entrance of his house, ready to enter a new world. Izuku, I have been for 1 year now. Mike, that's how I like it. I mentioned for the last time, to put on a military cap on guard. Attention. Show your respect to the commander of the Japanese army. Mike, I think I've mentioned it enough times. I only wanted one of you, he said as he watched a 5-member military convoy pull up in front of his house. We're sorry, sir. But the captains wanted to come personally to greet you. It's been a long time since you've been on vacation, and even longer since you're bringing your son with you. Mike, never mind. Meet all of you, captains. My son, Izuku Angelo. Izuku, it's a pleasure to meet you all. Izuku, it's a pleasure to meet you all. It will be an honor for me to work with all of you from now on. It will be an honor for me to work with all of you from now on. He exudes the same aura of authority as the boss. He's actually his son and equal. Did you have an older son? After the accident. At first glance, I can tell he's not just a kid. If he has the same talent as his father, our division won't fall to those arrogant kids. Mike, you may not know it yet, Izuku, he said, giving him a serious look. But this isn't just training. It's a competition between different divisions to see who has the most genius or trained son. Our division only participates in the training, since it's the most difficult. But when you arrived, that changed. All the captains. No. The entire army has their hopes pinned on you to win that personal fight. Izuku, will everyone be my enemy? I find that fair. Mike, all right. Everyone can rest. Take us to the military base and show them that our division is the best. Yes, sir. Military base, Musatafu. Izuku, why, you could say it's beautiful. Mike, this military base is one of many scattered throughout Japan, but it's arguably the most important. I suggest you memorize each location, as it will be your second home from now on. Izuku, I understand. Mike, how are the convoys ahead doing? Driver, they've already allowed us to pass, so we can enter now. Mike, I understand. We immediately go to my office to introduce the new instructor to my son. Driver, understood, Commander, he said as he began to enter the military base. To immediately go to Mike's office. We have arrived. Mike, go get some rest, soldier. You deserve it for the trip. Driver, thank you, sir. Mike, follow me, son, he mentioned as he began to walk towards his office, to see how all the soldiers who passed by greeted him respectfully. Rest. Izuku, how do you manage to handle this if you were on vacation? Mike, my second in command took care of everything. Izuku, I understand, he said as he began to inspect his office. It's modern. Mike, Derek. I see you're finally back, you bastard, he said with a serious tone as he entered his office. Damn bastard, you left all the paperwork to me. Mike, it's about time you got used to it. By the way, it's still nice to see you again, old friend, he said as he shook his hand. Izuku, he's the one leading the new government program and your instructor. Derek Westbrook, aka Frost. Derek, son? You never told me you had another son, he said as he began to stroke Izuku's hair. You have the same look as your father. It's a pleasure to meet you, nephew. Izuku, the pleasure is mine, sir. Derek Westbrook. Status, second in command and general of the army. Rank? Quirk, unknown, unknown. Derek, you brought your son to enter the program? Then I'll take him with me right away. I suppose he'll be able to handle it, right? Mike, I'll leave that to your opinion. I know I'm leaving my son in good hands to unleash his potential. Derek, okay. We'll talk about this son's thing later. Mike, yeah. Derek, okay, then let's go, Little one, he said as he began to lead him towards a camp. First of all, when we're in training you'll call me sir or general. You can call me uncle with complete confidence when we're together or off the record. Inside the base, I'm your instructor. Izuku, I understand perfectly, sir. Derek, I fought side by side with Mike since we were kids and he didn't confess to me that he had another son. Izuku, another son? Derek, we'll talk about that later. Now it's time for you to introduce yourself, he said, picturing a team of 100 kids. Mike mentioned this to you, didn't he? Izuku, he did it. Derek, then that makes things easier. Intent. We have a new recruit, you fucking scumbags. His name is Izuku Angelo, son of the military commander. Izuku, I wanted to keep that a secret. Derek, if I hadn't done that, it wouldn't be a declaration of war on the other 5 kids. Izuku, I understand. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Who will be my companions and the people I will fight side by side with these years. I hope we can all get along. Derek, good. That's enough. As many of you know, this program will only last 2 years. So we'd better use this time wisely so we can turn you into powerful machines and warriors of this country. You'd better get ready, because this won't be a simple game. Recruits, yes, sir. Derek, break ranks. I want you in 5 on the field to your left, he said to see how everyone started running in that direction. Izuku, I will not show any favoritism towards you or anyone else. You already know how to earn respect. Do not disappoint me, the commander, or the army. Izuku, rest assured that I won't, General. Derek, excellent. I see you can follow simple rules like these. Today's training will teach you what comes next. We will improve your emaciated physical condition and make you capable of enduring battles that even our best men are unprepared for. I will make the wish to die a dream for all of you. I could feel an enormous cold and a powerful sense of dominance over us. I felt the same instinctive, demonic dominance coming from Derek as he glared at us from behind his mask, not letting us see a single expression on it. But no matter how much he hid it, his senses were something else. I knew he enjoyed it. I knew he would enjoy their suffering. Derek, since no one answers, I'll take it you'll love this workout. I want 10 laps around the entire military headquarters, now. He shouted for everyone to start running. Izuku thought, what was that feeling from earlier? It was something similar to my father's, he thought as he began to take another turn around the barracks. It was more dominant, more powerful, more terrifying. I can't take it anymore. He screamed as he fell to the ground with his panting voice. This is hell. Izuku, this isn't the time to give up. Damn it, I whispered as I helped him up. Your tiredness is simply in your brain. It's the unbearable heat that's forcing you to give up. Sigh of relief as she felt the icy water running through her body. Izuku, we all have to be in top condition to finish this. We'll be teammates after all, he said before finishing his last lap. Derek, we have the first winner. I shout as I start walking towards Izuku. Come with me, your father wants to talk to you. Izuku, huh? Now? Derek, yes. Izuku, okay, he said as he started walking towards it. Derek, we've been getting quite a few complaints lately about Mike introducing a son. Izuku, because of me? It's just my first day. Derek, exactly, they don't know what you're capable of. If I don't even know what you're capable of, neither do they. But it's time you turned that to your advantage, destroyed them. Izuku, I thought you were going to give me a lecture. Derek, sermon? Well, it never hurts to spoil your nephew. Especially when they earn it, he said as he began to stroke Izuku's hair. You have a question. Say it. Izuku, Derek, I'm an expert on this sort of thing, kid. Izuku, when you spoke, you presented an external force. What was that? Derek, do you know what domination is? Izuku, huh? Derek, domination is taking your opponent's breath away. Izuku, take it off. Derek, you know the best way to take his breath away? Izuku, no? It's terror. Derek, this might come in handy in the future, kid. Some people have the ability to release an aura of their power to intimidate their enemy and let them know how strong they are. The top-ranked heroes use it. But none is stronger than the aura of dominance. It's a dominance that takes away your ability to lie, see, feel, think freely, and even your ethics. Izuku, where there is power, there is resistance. Derek, exactly. The dominant touch, the king aura, or dominance, call it what you will, takes away your ability to resist her. It makes you weaker. Izuku, interesting. Thanks for that. He shouted as he started running towards his father's office. Derek, what an interesting guy. No one could sense the king's aura. He said as he picked up his phone. Huh? What's going on? Derek Westbrook? Derek, yeah. Do you need anything? We've reported from the government bureau that a new plan is being implemented. The military base will be the first to be affected by these ideals. Derek, what are you talking about? The government will recreate that experiment. Mike, artificial quirks? Derek, when did the government reopen the experiment? I raised my voice and stood up from my seat, my gaze lowered. All the memories I once tried to forget, hidden beneath the grotesque scars that the roots of life had left on me. Derek, Mike, calm down first. The whole place shook. It seemed like a demonic pressure was beginning to stir, while a completely black, viscous aura began to surround Mike. Hugging him. An unusual figure with black eyes, hair created from viscosity, and a feminine figure. My eyes took on a feline look. A hunter's. A predator's. A king's. Derek, Mike. Do you forget what that does to you? Don't make me try to stop you. Stop him? Honey, Mike hides even darker secrets, which you don't even have the audacity to know. Derek, don't betray a trust that cost you a lifetime to regain. Mike, since when? How long has this experiment been running? I mentioned this time hiding any domains. Derek, based on the files submitted, less than a year. The success rate is below 0.001%. Mike, and you're planning on doing it with my kids? Derek. I think you've forgotten who we are, he said while crossing his arms behind his back, while directing his gaze towards a window. Derek, neither your influence nor mine can stop this. It seems to be the work of someone even higher up. Mike, when do you want to implement this experiment? Derek, 1 month. Mike, a month. You know what that means, right? Derek, I know it perfectly well, and my men, like those of El, are prepared to go against the one above. Mike, good. Very good. Izuku, I thought this would be worse than my father's training, he mentioned to the air as he started walking towards the dorms. Izuku, everyone is succumbing to themselves, I'll take the bed in front of the door. Hey. That's my bed, get out of there. I'm talking to you. Hey. You fucking son of a bitch. He shouted while grabbing Izuku's shoulder. Izuku, damn son of a what? He asked while turning with his gaze raised. Huh? What? Izuku, answer what I just asked if you don't want me to rip out your damn pharynx and make you swallow it again while I push it out through your disgusting intestines. What did you say about my mother? Oh I see that since I didn't show up for training, the new kid doesn't know me. My name is Daniel Tsurugame, son of the president of the Japanese Police and Investigation Department. Izuku, why you're the son of a bitch police dog who's useless at his job. Daniel, since when in this place are rats allowed to speak to their elders? You have one chance, and one chance only. Bend down, get on your knees, and lick the sole of my foot, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to forgive you. Only if I knock out your 4 front teeth. Izuku, an empty vessel makes the loudest sound, that's why those with the least wit are the biggest idiots. Daniel, what did you say? I asked, raising an eyebrow in confusion. PF, he called him an idiot and didn't even realize it. Daniel, shut up or I'll have all your parents jailed in federal prison. Izuku, you're very good at criticizing when you have the power to surpass that of others. But criticizing only shows your weakness. You have no talent, no wit, you are nothing. Daniel, tell me your name. Talent, with the necessary effort, becomes indestructible. Those who try to destroy it will despair. And when you try to speak, you only repeat what you already know. But when you listen, you are able to learn so much more. Izuku, hey, my name? If you can't convince them to follow you, confuse them. Izuku, my name is Izuku. But you will call me Mr. Angelo, he said while taking him by the neck to lift him into the air. My name is Izuku Angelo, firstborn son of Mike Angelo, commander of the military army. Right now you are on my territory. So kneel and ask for forgiveness for the shame you will have to go through for the rest of your stay here. So kneel down and ask forgiveness for the shame you will have to endure for the rest of your stay here. Daniel thought, now that I look at him more closely, he's taller. Stronger. More upright. Izuku, Daniel. Daniel, huh? Izuku, are you going to make me repeat it again? He is a real monster. Daniel, I am sorry. He said as he began to kneel, to lightly kiss the heel of Izuku's boot. I will follow you wherever you are, in battle, air or sea. My loyalty is will be to you, Sir, he mentioned as he looked at Izuku with anger and rage. Izuku, well. We're off to a good start, he said as he began to walk away, until he took one of the farthest beds. A truly interesting boy to follow. A monster has arrived. Daniel Tsurugame. Status? Rank, 100. Quirk, unknown. Next morning. Derek, wake up recruits. The sun has risen and it's time for your damn heads to roll in the mud. Izuku, Daniel. Derek, Izuku, Daniel Tsurugame. Do you know him? Derek, yes. The arrogant son of the police sleuth. I know him perfectly well. Izuku, scratch one off the list. He pledged his loyalty to me. Derek, you know a promise is nothing, right? Izuku, I know, but when a dog doesn't follow you, all you have to do is take away its bone so it learns who's in charge. Derek, Mike taught you well, he said as he watched all the recruits begin to stand up very well. You should never know the monsters of a person who looked directly into the abyss and survived to tell the tale. Derek, you're taking too long. Minus 10 points for everyone who hasn't gotten up yet, I mention as I look at 3 people leaning against the doorframe. Except for you 4. Since Angelo woke up first, he'll have priority at today's practice. Follow me, and the rest of you go to the field on your right in 5 minutes, or you'll have to run for 3 hours. The place we were standing on was the edge of a cliff. It looked like a dense, gigantic forest spilling out into a completely dark horizon. Trees over 80 feet tall, scattered in disorder, blocked the path and the view of what lay in the air and below. Derek, this is where they'll be training, he said as he stood next to the 4 recruits. I simply sighed, making sure my mind collected all the information from the space within a 10-kilometer radius thanks to my quirk. Derek, perfect, the others have arrived, he said as he stood in front of them. This will be a quick explanation. You won't have time to shower, go to the bathroom, change clothes, train, or rest, much less eat. Today's training is a pitched battle between 2 teams of 50 recruits. The main focus is a head-on war. Each team's mission is to take down the leader of that squad. In war, if you remove a head, a new one can sprout continuously, like a hydra. But if you cut off the head and the entire body that composes it, the animal won't have time for anything. It just becomes extinct. Izuku, thought, eliminate the entire team. Derek, as is well known, the biggest problem of all occurs in war. There are no equal teams, as both sides are disadvantaged. Since you failed to follow my orders to the letter, all of you will have the disadvantage of limited magazines of only 2. Your shots must be accurate, and if you have the audacity to go hand to hand, your stealth can be a major advantage. The stage you will immerse yourself in is the one behind me. You are allowed everything, including the use of quirks, strategy, traps, and, above all, deception. The only resource is what your minds are capable of calculating at the moment, as well as the way you perform on the ground. The rules were simple. If someone doesn't follow the rules, they're expelled. This is teamwork, mistakes couldn't be allowed now, much less in the future. It was just training for what, in the future, would be the daily routine. Derek, one of the simple disadvantages. It's that the teams would primarily be chosen by vote. But since the Chargers are enough of a disadvantage for you, recruit Izuku Angelo will have the worst disadvantage of all. Izuku, a chaotic team. Derek, exactly. You've known each other for 4 months, but Izuku only arrived 2 days ago. The leader will have to choose his team based on intelligent criteria, and the rest will go to recruit Angelo. Izuku, isn't this a different test for me? Derek, take it as you will. It can be an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on how you think. If you're a natural leader, you'll have no problem. If you fail to lead this disastrous team, everyone will die, and you'll inevitably lead them to elimination. Izuku, I never said this was a disadvantage, he said as his lips curved into a smile. Wouldn't this be a low blow to the remaining 3, if I beat them? Derek. Izuku, bingo, he said while taking a blue bandana. Derek, thought, this kid has a confidence that makes me doubt, he thought while crossing his arms. If he's able to win this, he won't just gain everyone's respect. He'll be chosen for it. That's why I gave you this huge disadvantage, kid. Red Team Leader. Leader, Chika Nimitz. Status, daughter of the commander of the Maritime Self-Defense Forces. Quirk, unknown. Blue Team Leader. Leader, Izuku Angelo. Status, son of the leader of the Japanese Army. Quirk, Adaptive Vision. One of the variants of his quirk, Adaptive Vision as its name suggests, gives him the primary ability to make his vision get used to any situation he finds himself in to automatically help him, being a variant of his main quirk Eagle Vision. Derek, thinking, interesting matchup, he said as he began to massage his jaw. A girl raised by the best strategist of the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force and the son of Mike Angelo, Japan's best fighter and army strategist. Chika, sir, our group is made. Derek, I see, that's no problem. You left the worst to the kid. Chika, competition is competition. Derek, okay. Everyone else who wasn't chosen, put on your red headbands and join your leader, Angelo Izuku. He shouted as everyone started to enter the forest. Derek, okay. This will be the location where both sides' war will take place. The leaders of each team place the flags in strategic locations. Clearly, both leaders can think about leaving a guard or informing their entire team about the flag's location. The strategy is free. The first team to find the flag and knock down the leader wins the training and is declared the winner. He informed while raising his hand. Begin. Just as Derek started the test, my team and I began diving into the trees, creating a small stream of marks above the trees to better manage our coordination. Immediately, I slowed my fall to stand up in front of everyone. Izuku, good. You know perfectly well that none of us would like to lose right now. Don't worry about your weaknesses, we'll focus on your strengths. Let's first look for weaknesses in our enemy. Do you know the leader's weakness? Recruit, from what I understand, that girl is quiet in the barracks. She doesn't engage in conversation with anyone. Izuku, reserved can be synonymous with caution. That means she's someone who's guided by strategy, not instinct. Anything else? Recruit 2, arrogant. He's completely confident in his abilities and doesn't hesitate to use them to completely overthrow his enemy. Izuku, okay, the plan is set. First, we'll split into groups of 2. How can you be so sure? Izuku, I have a mental map of this entire forest, and according to the recruit, he'll want to create a victory without casualties. We'll use that. But I need you. Me? Why? Izuku, your manner of speaking tells me you're a nobleman. Clans? No. A family. Businessman? Exact. Izuku, good, that makes things easier, he said while offering his hand. Izuku Angelo. Desmond Bendek. Izuku, from what I know about our team, there's a person who can change anyone's appearance, right? Recruit 3, that's me. Izuku, perfect. Change the appearance of our partner Desmond. Desmond, what are you planning to do? I asked with a raised eyebrow. Izuku, we have 1 point against us and 1 point in our favor. Chika is cautious but arrogant. That indicates she's frivolous and intelligent, so we'll make her believe she won. Does she love destroying her enemies? Well, she hasn't met me yet. Do you love destroying your enemies? Well, you haven't met me yet. Desmond, then I'll follow your plan. Izuku, okay, dear recruit. Change Desmond's appearance to mine. Recruit 3, understood, he said while placing his hand in Desmond's hair. Suddenly, my nose was enveloped in an extremely sweet aroma, mixed with the smell of moss, dirt, and decaying tree wood. Izuku thought, it causes a numbing effect when he uses his quirk, he thought as he watched Desmond's hair change to an albino one next to his eyes. Perfect, you haven't forgotten any faction, correct? Recruit 3, every feature, no matter how small, was perfectly replicated. Perhaps you need to change your clothes? Izuku, no, he replied as he began to look around. Now, it's time to gain complete control over the terrain, he said as he offered his same bandana to Desmond. Take it and put it on your head. Desmond, I just don't think it's necessary to tell us your plan. Izuku, one of the elements in war is to follow your leader even when he sends you to your death. Desmond, I'm more than ready to learn about the will of loyalty. Izuku, what we'll do for now is simple, so listen to me carefully. We'll take over different terrains in this forest. While you go by land with your team, I'll go by air. The plan is simple. If we can't convince them, we'll confuse them. Desmond, I understand. Izuku, leave the rest to me. Mistakes aren't an option. Desmond, take care of your surroundings. Izuku, I will lead you all to victory, so follow me with blind faith, he said, and without further ado, began to climb the trees. Chika, I really have to question your idea of revenge, Daniel. Daniel, I knew him better than you did, Chika. I know how he thinks and I know what he'll do. Chika, fine. I accept suggestions. Daniel, he's a confident kid, so his plan is probably a direct attack on us. He'll probably use the terrain to his advantage and attack stealthily on the ground. Chica, okay, okay. We'll make a new plan then. Everyone follow me. I pondered the endless schemes Chica could come up with to confront us. If it was a test, the most effective would be manipulation, stealth, or winning through force. If she chose the best in skill control, it would force me to have a certain degree of control over the terrain. The fact that she was the daughter of a commander like my father didn't lessen my anxiety. If she were like me, then she'd need to protect me. She'd probably have a defense mechanism like most hunters, or, in another way, like most prey, to avoid being eaten. Observing my surroundings, I focused my power on my eyes, enhancing and increasing their range and visibility. But there was nothing. I was constantly on the lookout for any sign of a frontal attack or the slightest misstep to counterattack as I made my way to the other side of the forest. At least an hour had passed, but there was still no sign. Izuku, stop and rest here. Drink some water and regain your strength, he said while taking a communicator. How's everything on the ground? Desmond, quiet. Too quiet to be true. Izuku, okay, be careful. Rest and replenish your strength. They'll most likely try to attack when night falls and the rain settles on us to avoid any noise. Desmond, understood. As the sky began to darken, so did the mood of the others. All I had to keep me confident was nothing. I was frustrated by the lack of progress. To my irritation, thunder from the sky like rain began to fall in a loud clang through what was already night. The silence had disappeared, so using my hearing wouldn't be feasible. Izuku, if it's not stealth, manipulation, or just plain war, this must be it. Attention. We'll split into two different teams. One will go by my side while the other positions himself next to Desmond's team to provide support. Yes, sir. Izuku, okay, remember that everyone must go stealthily to avoid being discovered, he said as he prepared to continue his journey. The others advance. Desmond, Alpha Team. Izuku, inform. Desmond, we don't have anyone right now, we're just waiting for the slightest sign that someone is there to attack. Izuku, okay, then we'll continue with the main plan. Minutes soon turned into hours of waiting. It wasn't enough to withdraw my instinct, senses, and quirk to find traces of anything. After that, I realized it was absolutely necessary to clear my mind and the intention of hunter and prey. I could feel my breathing soften again, almost disappearing from the flow. Izuku, everyone. Prepare yourselves. Could the leader have made a mistake? He said to wait, but there's nothing. 1. 2. Possibly the others ran away scared. 2. No. If that had been the case, the gentleman would have finished this. Izuku. Eliminate everyone. The sedimentary route was over. I had fueled my team's dominance enough to eliminate the frustration of the killer instinct. When I gave the order, they began attacking like hunters going after a squirrel that had no idea what was happening around them. Recruit, sir, the entire team was eliminated. Izuku, perfect. Delta Team, how's things going? Desmond, everything's fine. We're pushing the attack line while the other team prepares to prevent the spread. Izuku, perfect. The net has been set. We just need the leader to take the bait. Eagle eyes. I wasn't sure how many hours had passed, but practice was almost over. With my vision 100% focused on the surroundings, I managed to disperse all the glitches to find my prey. Chica Nimitz, who was beginning to escape with Desmond in pursuit. Hee. I laughed inwardly at the imminent victory over our enemy. From the mere fact that my vision scattered as I stared at her, I knew her power had to do with her very presence. Izuku, everyone. Attack and eliminate everyone. I stood frozen in place as I felt a huge group surround me through the trees, but in the blink of an eye I suddenly disappeared from the scene, while the entire group that tried to attack me fell directly to the ground unconscious as I reappeared next to Desmond, chasing the squirrel. Chica thought, damn. I didn't have enough with this guy, now the leader is chasing me. How could everyone fail? Izuku, did you find the flag? Desmond, that's right. Izuku, then let's start the second phase, he said while signaling them to disperse through the trees. Chica, did they leave? No. I still feel someone. Desmond, I got you. He shouted as he appeared in front of her to catch her. Mirahe. From one moment to the next, Chica disappeared from Desmond's sight to appear at a point further ahead. Desmond, damn. He screamed as he fell to the ground. Mirahe. Chica, we're on my turf and your leader abandoned you. What a terrible plan, she said as she appeared behind Desmond to point a gun at him. Desmond, what? What? Chica, surprise. Desmond, I guess we couldn't win in the end. Chica, huh? Izuku, lose? Why would we? He asked as he placed his weapon on the back of Chica's head. Chica, how? But he's here. The effects of the quirk had worn off. Desmond's hair returned to normal as he removed his bandana to continue aiming his gun at the back of Chica's head, while I took advantage of the distraction to turn around and take his weapon away. Desmond, how did you come up with the idea of doing this in the middle of the fight? Izuku, it was always part of the plan. Chica, I give up. Derek, the red team is the winner. Desmond, I have to admit it was an amazing plan. Izuku, well, it could have been better, he said while directing his gaze towards Chica. Izuku Angelo. Chica. Chica Nimitz. Nice to meet you. Izuku, the pleasure is mine, he said as he started walking towards Derek 2 down. Derek, haha, I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point. You are Mike's son after all. Everyone's earned a break. You can go and eat all you want. Izuku, thank you, he said as he started walking towards the dorms with everyone else. Derek, to think we'd have such talent. It truly exceeded my expectations. Mike, I told you so. Derek, he's not just a talent. He's a prodigy. Mike, I thought the same thing when we were training and I saw how little by little he got used to it with a monstrous speed. Derek, I think I finally found it. Mike, Frost, the expert assassin. Wants to take someone under his wing? Derek, that should be you, Angel of Death. Mike, hey, how can I forget those times?